Spirit Messages, John Holland. Psychic Tarot, John Holland. Mediumship Training Deck, John Holland with Lauren Rainbow. You get the point. I love the John Holland decks. I want to start out by saying you do not need a deck of cards to be a psychic or to work mediumistically. These are tools. They hold no power in of themselves. They can be great for development, for practice, and frankly, they can be fun too. Today, I'm going to show you a few of my favorite decks. My 3 favorite decks all happen to be from John Holland, and how you read these decks is going to vary. Now, there are people who are masters of tarot and they use their traditional decks and know all of the nuanced details of those decks. I am not one of those people, but I will pull cards during a session to reassure a client as we're talking. Our ability to transfer our energy and use the deck, that's where it has the power. It's you as a person that carries that energy, that channels that energy of what is coming through. It is not the physical card itself. So when you go and somebody does a beautiful tarot spread for you, that is all coming from them. The cards are their tools. The cards are not the power. I'm more of an oracle card person. I like a guidance card. When I look at cards and when I pull cards, there's the meaning of the card. So usually, whatever the book tells you that the card means, but I usually rely on what I see in the card that stands out to me. If you're looking at something, whatever comes forward for you is usually what you're meant to see. And so that's why I like oracle cards, because they're a little bit more straightforward. I'll see a card and something different will pop out every time I look at it. This is Spirit Messages. These are oracle cards from John Holland. I will put links to this deck below in my description. They're really beautiful. It says Daily Guidance Oracle Deck. I will just pull out a card. Oop, and a card just flew out. Animal Kingdom and Caregiver just both flew out of this deck over to the floor. So we are going to look at those. When I look at Animal Kingdom, I see the yellow lab at the bottom. That's the first thing that stands out for me. For you, it might be something else. For Caregiver, I see the little red surrounding the heart, but you might focus right in on the heart. And every time you look at a card, something different might show up for you depending on what you're doing a reading for. So if you are on a journey and you need a little bit of encouragement, I recommend this deck. They're very simple and straightforward, and they're great guidance cards. They're really inspirational, and they show you what you need to see at that time. If you are in development, especially for mediumship, I really like this deck, the Mediumship Training Deck, and these cards are really neat. I gift these to people a lot because I have a lot of friends on this journey, and I think these are a really great deck for practice. You'll see this is a training deck. There's all of these beautiful pictures. It gives you an exercise on the back. So here, soul guidance. Making time for activities that contribute to your spiritual growth and psychic development is not a sign of selfishness. It is a sign that you are expanding. I love these cards. Another one, Thought Power, gives you tips on how to strengthen telepathy and different exercises. So if you are starting a journey, or even if you've been working for years, these are just fun. They're great. They're good reminders. This deck is a really good reminder to jump in and explore. Lastly, if I do use a tarot deck, I use this one. When I got this deck, I kind of didn't pay attention to any others. This is the deck that really speaks to me, but there's so many decks out there. It's not a traditional tarot deck. It is a deck that is really good for honing in psychically on whatever the reading is. Give you an example. Anything from chakra cards, really expressive for psychic work. If you are doing a psychic reading, I would definitely recommend the Psychic Tarot deck. And I think that this is a fun deck that you can get when you're starting out. This deck hits on a lot of the energies and the emotions of people, and that will help you expand your psychic awareness a little bit. All 3 of these decks are great. There are tons of decks out there. You've got to just figure out what feels good to you. I've got a lot more. If you're looking for a deck for your psychic training or your mediumistic training, these are the 3 I would recommend. For mediumship, this is a great deck that will help you expand your tool set. For psychic abilities, I definitely love this tarot set. Honestly, this Spirit Messages kind of goes along with both of them. I actually like this one for myself. Every once in a while, I will pull a card out of this deck just for myself. What is it that I maybe need to focus on that I haven't been focusing on? I'll put links to the 3 decks in my description below because I think they're great resources, but you've got to find ones that work for you. do. They are useful, helpful, and a lot of fun. Really, the most important thing to understand is decks are basically just tools for you to use. They have no power. Everything comes from you shifting your energy, your awareness. So don't feel like you have to rely on a deck. If you enjoy them, if you think it's fun, that's great. I also recommend checking out some of my other videos. If you're looking for a place to start, I recommend Are You Psychic? Or if you are looking for any other recommendations, feel free to ask me in the comments below. Have a great day.